Do a quick recap on the Mentee port and the plays that we took so we can save some time on tonight's class. So here's the Mentee port. We started at 1K last week, got it to 2K. And this week, 2K, we got it to 4K, which we could have really got more, but we stuck to the rules and stayed very disciplined. So let's go through each play. The first play we took was GS for a 322.5 call. Let's run through that play really quick. So on GS, we played the gap. It held the 50% daily candle, which indicated, okay, it might possibly want to fill the gap. I was anticipating it filling the gap and continuing on, but I had to watch it because I didn't know if it wanted to reverse on us. So we watched the play. Usually we wait for the first 15 minutes, but for viewing purposes, I got it on a 5-minute, and we entered here on this 2 because it had a 2 down and a 2 up. We enter here, and some even average down when it went here, and then eventually it filled our gap. So right here, this was 30%. We scaled out and watched it because we didn't know if it wanted to continue, which it did, but then it started getting weak for my liking. So that's when I exit the entire position on GS. I set a stop loss on that one for 30%. So that was GS. We played the gap, bounced off the 50% of the previous daily candle. I usually don't play those plays. If you look at, that was the 26th. If you look at the daily, I was trying to play the 2 up, the one off the bottom of my broadening. I was anticipating a reversal pattern 2 up, but it was getting weak, so we had to exit that position. So I was playing the 1, 2, and then the 2 up. So once it triggered, I was holding, thinking it would go more, but it started getting weak, so I got out of that. All right, so the next position we had was PFE 50 call, and we actually took a loss on this. We didn't have to, but we did. Again, on PFE, I was looking for a reversal pattern at the bottom of my broadening formation as well. We played the 3-2 up. We went into profit 20%, I believe, but we was holding it for a swing. And once it didn't hold and kept the pattern going, once it came back to around the break-even area right here, I just decided to cut the position, although it went back green the next day. I just cut the position for 16% loss. I didn't have to, but I knew that if it came back and it made the shooter that it was going to potentially do the 3-2 down. And when you're working with a small port, I just didn't want to hold through that. If it was bigger, I would have held because I knew that this area would have been retested. So we could have held that and potentially got more profits, at least probably 30% up here. But because I didn't want to hold through that and I wanted to have more plays when I'm working, when you're building a small account, you just want to cut really quick and move on. That's what I did on PFE. But ultimately, PFE did do what I expected it to do, which was go to this level. So it would have worked out if we would have had a little bit more patience and hold. But as I stated, a small account, I don't have time for that type of patience. All right. Next, QQQ puts. We took the Sarah Sniper 50% rule on that one. Let's go to that one, QQQ. All right, so QQQ triggered up on the day on the 26th and started reversing back. And then I was like, okay, we potentially could make an outside day. Let's get in on the retrace, which was here, and play it down. So we played QQQ puts on the 3-2 off the 50% retrace, fell on that day, down. Easy play. Next one was Upstart. Upstart, we could have got more than 10%, but I got impatient with that one as well. The play that we was playing on Upstart was the 1-2 down. So we did it. We entered on the break, and it came down, but it kept playing, right? So once it got back here, like around here, we cut it for 10%. And as soon as we cut it, it flushed right into the gap that I was anticipating. So I just had to just let that one be. I didn't get back in. I didn't play it again. I just took my 10% and moved. But ultimately, it did what I thought it would do. And I was only playing this to the gap. I was only going to play this $3 move. But I cut early, took 10%, and it actually ended up giving what I needed. Next one we did was JPM. Oh, JPM was a pain in my backside. And I really dropped the ball on JPM. I'm shocked I don't even have this up. I dropped. This is the hurtfulest play I ever played. Okay, so JPM, we were playing. What were we playing? Oh, I didn't even say what we were playing. Let me remember. We triggered on the yearly 2 down. I wanted to get in this position and potentially swing it because we triggered yearly 2 down on the year, and you see I have my PTs 120, 118. However, it kept staying in this area for 1, 2, 3 days. I got so tired of it. I was just like, I'm done. And then the way it was moving, I didn't kind of like it. Maybe I got a bad entry, a bad con. I just didn't like it because even when I checked back, I cut it for a loss. I ended up cutting it for a loss on Friday, knowing that I knew that it was going to do what it needed to do on Friday when I said it. But I was just so tired of holding it for 3 days. And I had a goal for the port. So it was either hold JPM or when the port get to 4,000, I'll cut in the whole, everything, every position, because that was the goal for the week. So once the port got to 4,000, I didn't care. I just cut the port for, I cut JPM for 20%. So let me tell you what happened here. Once we broke below, I knew once we came back to that dark pool level, because once the dark pool came in, it spiked up, which is fine. But once we got back to it, we were going to dump. And once we came back to the dark pool level, I cut right here, which I did not follow, but because I had that rule that I set. But in other cases, if I didn't reach 4K, I would have let this flush. When I checked back when it hit my first PT, I was just breaking even on my contracts. That's how bad. And I had next week. So that's how bad the cons I picked was horrible. So once it got to the first PT, I was just breaking even. And then it flushed and got close to my second PT. So I probably would have came out of that trade 10 or 15% either way, even if I held it. So I took a 20% loss on it. I know the mistake that I made. I know that if I would have, I even told my mentees, hey, you can hold it. It's going to do what it needs to do. You do not have to take the loss with me. I'm just taking it because my port reached 4K and that was my rule. But I do want to show that it does do what we think it's going to do. It's just patience. All right, the next play we took was Tesla. Tesla, we took the break of the inside bar on with this date, the 28th. So I set an alert for up and down on this inside bar, because I seen this candle. I was like, up movement would be nice, but if it breaks down, that would be nice. I just knew the move would be equivalent to this, right? So once it broke, we got in immediately and let it flush, and we took 169% on Tesla that day. So that was the 212 down, continuous bearish move, measure move down. And our play of the week, play of the century is XPX put. We took an XPX put around right here. I got in early, I know, but I was anticipating it tapping the top of this broadening, which it actually did, right? So I got in early. I paid $19.05 for that con. We held it overnight. We got May 3rd. We brought it on Thursday. We gapped down, and we continued to flush. I took 55%. Oh, 43%. I thought I took 50. Oh, that was another port. Okay, I took 43% on that con because, like I said, it hit 4,000 on a port, and I wanted to double the port each week. So I was fine. I wanted to stick to the rules. But let me tell you, this con, this 1920 con, by the end of the day, and it's so crazy because I knew that I was going to hold. That's why I brought time on it, because I wanted to hold it all the way through. But it's okay. This con ended up being $4,500. That was the banger of the week. Top of the broadening formation, and we just kept coming down. We never broke up. So ended Friday. I alerted the whole mentees, all the mentees that took my program before, currently in there, that hey, if we break this, let me go here. If we break this dark pool level on SPY, go all in, because it's about to get real ugly. So on Friday, everybody got inputs here and was cashing out. I alerted an XBX $90 put. Went all the way down to like $4 by the end of that day. I knew we was going to flush once we hit there. So we so close to the bottom, but once we broke that, triangled out. TTO. All right, that is the Mentee port. So the lesson we learned is patience. Everything kind of works out once you get in and have a plan to go with it. And let's double the port this week, guys.